Because we understand that two high-profile, that's how the police described it, high-profile suspects have been arrested in connection with the recent attack in Basa Local Government Area. Can you speak to us about that? We want to start from the rear so people know what is being done to ensure justice, that we can walk through other measures. So perhaps an update on that one, Honorable.
All we are saying, all we've been shouting is for the security agencies, can they launch a hunt on these people? Can they literally get into these places and flush these people out? Because we know for sure that the attacks have been incessant, the attacks have been systematic, the attacks have been consistent, they follow day after day. The very last time this attack happened in the Irigwe axis of Miongo, which is Basa Local Government, did not happen just a day. It happens in 3 days sequence. After the first day, we will expect that the military or the forces should have gone into these places and flushed these people out. By all indication, I'm telling you with empirical evidence that these people do not attack with sticks and knives. They attack with sophisticated weapons. Weapons that maybe I don't even know the kind of caliber they are, but I know they are sophisticated. They are military kind of weapons that no individual should have, that only terrorists and only people who are paramilitary or military should have. They are due for attack. They are due for repellent. They are due to be flushed out in every sense of the word. I am happy that the world is beginning to see that this thing we are shouting about is a reality. But I am sad that people have to die in this number before there's some actions could be taken. I know, like you said, 2 or 3 of these suspects have been arrested. We have heard these incidents of suspects being arrested a couple of times, but we didn't see the end of the justice on these suspects. We needed to see that justice takes its course from the very beginning to the end. This needs to be practically shown so it could cause deterrent, so people could know that the government is really serious about attacking and dealing with this situation, mitigating the situation. This is ethnic cleansing. This is genocide. This is genocide. We know a particular group of people who are attacking a particular group of people. And you may give it political or religious color if you want, but I don't look at it that way. This thing is like a plain virgin land. It's like between the egg and the chicken, which one comes first? Whatever you want to call it, you call it. You can think it's political, you can think it's religion, but at the end of the day, it's land grabbing, it's ethnic cleansing, it's some certain groups of people that are wiping out other groups of people. And it is happening over the years. It's not the first time. My governor has shouted about this thing. He spoke about this thing over and over again. He chose his words this last time and called it genocide. It is. Because how many people do you have to kill for it to become genocide? These people in question have been killed a lot of times. The Biron people, down to the Boko area of Plateau State, down to even Compound and some part of Wase. These people are going everywhere. They are running riots. It's like a free harvest land for them. The situation right now is pushing the Plateau person to the brink. It's pushing the Plateau person to the wall. It's a show that the only thing the person would do is to want to turn back and fight back. If they take self-help as the only way out, it's going to brew in new situations. It's going to be chaos. We want this government from the center to do more into trying to make the people in Plateau, the tribal and the indigenous autochthonous owners of Plateau, to believe in the government. What will make you believe in the government is that you feel safe and secure by the government. We want the government to show Plateau people that they are not helpless, because the law would not allow us to do certain things to protect ourselves, but the law is not protecting us enough for us to feel safe. There are farms that are still occupied. that our people cannot go and do farming. That is land grabbing. They displace the people, dislodge the autochthonous owners from their land and stop them from farming in so many ways. It's happening in Bokos, it's happening in Basa, it's happening in the Irigwe axis and some other axis.
So I want to ask you, do you agree that there's genocide happening in Plateau, in Borno, in Taraba, in Yobe? Do you agree that there is something called ethnic cleansing going on in the northern part of Nigeria right now? Do you also agree that there's land grabbing going on right now? Is this job of being the president of Nigeria too big now for Bola Tinubu? Does he have the capacity to get Nigeria to the next level that we want, where there's safety and there's peace? Safety for lives and properties. The man said a whole lot of things and we're going to break them down. But please watch this to the end. And if you're meeting this content for the first time, like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been following us and you have not yet subscribed, please do so. But I ask the question, is this a genocide going on in Nigeria that we're looking at and we're not calling it that? How many more people will be killed in Plateau State? How many more people will be killed in Borno State? How many more people will be killed in Edo State? How many more people will be killed in Benue State? At what point would we get to say it's enough? We have to resort to self-help, like the Honorable House of Rep member mentioned, where we have to get to the point where we have to defend ourselves. Remember, one time a man was attacked in his own farm. He defended himself. The Supreme Court sentenced him to death for defending himself on his own land. When would this government fix this issue of grazing? Somebody has spent time tilling his land, farming his land. Another person brings his own, animals and feeds on the work that another person has done. The man defends himself and is being put to death. At what point in time would we say we have a government that we can depend on to protect our lives and our properties, which is their primary task? Would you call this genocide? I'm asking you to answer. Listen, if you follow the history of Nigeria, you remember the Ife Modakeke crisis. Do you know how many people died? But at least the government at the time did find a way to resolve the issue. And when things like this happen, people always die. Our politicians have turned our country into a banana republic. Our politicians have turned our country into a madhouse where everything goes. And our politicians have turned our country into a chaotic place. No rule of law. No rule of law at all. And this is helped by corruption. Because corruption, binds your hand and stops you from working. How can you stop somebody else when you're being so corrupt? You don't have the willpower anymore or the audacity to tell other people stop because you know what you're doing. And our judiciary is a member of this corruption. They are part and parcel of this corruption. Our legislature is non-existent. Corruption, I'm telling you, for 2027, I make bold to say this. All these lawmakers need to be voted out come 2027. They need to go. They need to go. They have no willpower to make laws and enforce these laws. They've incapacitated our police. They've not enabled our policemen, our military to do the job that they need to do because they've stolen the monies that they need to do their jobs. So come 2027, you have to get rid of these guys. Vote them all out. APC, PDP, whatever P they belong in. If they're not doing the job, get them out. Our police are incapacitated. Is it because of the resources of the land? Look at the killings that happened in Borno recently. There are even so many more that we've not reported. These people are in their villages, they're sleeping. And they come in the middle of the night and they kill them. Where are they meant to run to? These militants, these terrorists, these bandits have weapons used by military. Military get weapons. Where are they getting it from? Najatu Mohammed, I recorded the videos, go check it out, mentioned. You see helicopters dropping down weapons, technological gadgets for militants. How are they getting it? Because they're using their resources, they're mining their resources, taking gold. Ali Baba mentioned it. Go and check it. Ali Baba mentioned it. I put a video there, so go check it out. Why this insecurity is happening in Nigeria? Who is next to die before the government would do something? Is this job too big for Bola Tinubu and this APC government to do? 12 years, they've not been able to fix insecurity. 12 years. They don't have the willpower to do the job. The Nigerians are dying because of their laxness. It's enough. You have to speak up. We have to mount pressure on this government to do something. Listen, you might not be from the north. It doesn't mean it will get to you. Because if they don't fix the one from the north, when it gets to you, they won't fix your one. And by the way, if in case you're living in the urban area, in the cities and in the towns, don't think you're safe. After all, not all of us can travel now down the road in, motorways anymore. And the express road, interstate travel. Not all of us can do that. You have to have security. What did Idris Abdulkarim tell Sheikh Tinubu? Leave your escorts alone. Go get on the Benin Akure road and see whether or not you're going to be safe. This is bigger than just one man. All of us need to put our voices together and call out this incapacitated and irresponsible government. That's what we have. They can't fix the issue. Listen, when people are dying, it doesn't matter what the president is doing. You leave whatever you're doing to come back home. The president has been in France for 2 weeks. Nigerians are dying like flies. The president is in France looking after himself. These things are impeachable offenses. But then what we have is a legislature that don't have the willpower to do anything. Again, I said it. They've incapacitated our military. We have one of the finest military in the world, and in Africa especially, but they cannot do the job because of corruption. Our politicians, I said it before, have turned Nigeria into a crime scene. This is the only country you become a politician, the next day you're a billionaire. You did not invent anything. You did not create anything. The money that you're meant to use to help the people, you put them in your pocket and stealing them and taking them to the Western countries to go and invest them there, or even just dump them in a bank account. Nigeria has become a crime scene. Our politicians have made our country a madhouse, a chaotic place where there's no rule of law, no law and order. Then you hear somebody like Wiki talking about the rule of law. Shame to our politicians. That's what I'm telling you. You have to speak up. We cannot let it. One man dying is just too much, let alone that they're wiping people's families. They're taking over their lands. People cannot go to their own homes anymore. We have so many internally displaced people within our country when we are not at war. Look at what happened in Borno. Look at what happened in Jos. Where will be the next place? And that's why they refuse to raise and train these young people so that they can use them for these weapons as weapons of destruction, of killings. That's why if you go to the north, you see a lot of people who have not been schooled, so they don't have relevance for life. They indoctrinate them and tell them to go become weapons for killing. Najatu Mohammed said it, that these bandits are used by our politicians as thugs during the political season. And I bet you they're going to use them more. Guess what happened in Lagos in 2023? Was it not same talks they used to tell people not to come to vote? They refused to train these people. They refused to put the tools, the amenities to let these people see life in a different direction so that they can continue to use them for their evil wickedness. We deserve better as a people. Our politicians have taken us for far too long for a ride. It's time to stop this. I'm speaking to all of us now. So I ask again before, is this genocide? Do you agree with it? Is this ethnic cleansing? Do you agree with it? Is this because of land grabbing of the resources, the gold, the minerals, the cobalt, the resources in the land? Heard it again and again. Helicopters coming, taking gold from Nigeria and running out. They're masquerading this banditry thing as the case, but they're stealing from Nigerian. Illegal mining going up all over the north. At what point would we say is enough? Now we cannot say what Ali Baba said was a lie. Other people have come to now confirm that. So you cannot say Ali Baba mentioned that because he was looking for relevance. No. Najatu Mohammed has actually confirmed that. So would you say she's lying to? What is wrong with our government? You answer that. I think it's corruption. They incapacitated our judiciary and legislature were part of the problem. And I want to say this clearly. Vote this guy's outcome 2027. I ask you to leave your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Again, if you're meeting this content for the first time, like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been following us and you've not yet subscribed, please do so. Recommend this channel to others. We need to continue to have this kind of intelligent conversation and provide solution, and also mount that pressure on our government to do the right thing by Nigerians. We deserve the best at very least. As always, thank you and God bless you. Catch you up in the next video. Bye-bye for now.